Hi, my name is Diana Chrissy McDowell, and I'm owner and operator of Lady Drive Her Car Service. It's only a year old, but I've been in this industry for 29 years. I'm an owner, I'm an operator, I'm hands-on. I know that when my phone rings, the public wants to have more female drivers in the city. That is my issue. I cannot provide that service because that's not my zone, and there's no owner's permits available. This pamphlet here is for you to take home, all the counselors. In the front of it, a little blurb about who we are and what we're asking for. If you would just follow me along, just open up the second page and follow along with me. Our mission statement is, we all have mothers or sisters or daughters or friends who should have the option to choose a car service that makes them feel comfortable. The demand for female drivers in the city is really high. I'm turning calls away all the time. I have no ladies to send to these locations. In order to do that, we need to be legal. We need to be licensed. In order to be licensed, you need to add your name to that list. There's 850 names waiting for those owner's permits. I'm not going to encourage my ladies to go on that list. Never ever in their lifetime are they going to get their own owner's permits to operate. The women that you see out there, 99% of them don't own that roof light. They rent it. They rent it from another taxi driver. That's a whole other issue I don't want to get into. I only have 10 minutes. That 850 names waiting to get an owner's permit, the guy in the top of the list has been there for 10 years. And I say guy because this is a male-dominated industry. That's a gender equality issue. That's another barrier that we have to overcome. The word barrier is very important, and I'll show you later. There are 1,000 licenses for owner's permit in the HRM. Halifax, Dartmouth, in the county. They're capped, and I agree that they should be capped. You can't flood the market with cabs if there's no demand. We could look at that as the city is growing, and we are growing. There are 1,400 male taxi drivers in the city. These numbers were put out by City Council, but there's only 41 female taxi drivers in the city. Gender equality issue. The zones need to be eliminated so the drivers have the freedom to honor the request no matter where the location is. For instance, when we get our owner's permits for the city, if we just get the city permit, God forbid that lady in Sackville or Dartmouth call me up and ask for a ride to the hospital. I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't send you a car because you live in the wrong zone. Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to call another taxi service. And I doubt very much that they're going to send you a lady. Sorry, you live in the wrong zone. Click. I'm unable to jump that queue of 850 names. So this is why I'm here. I need you to remove that barrier. I need you to create a new category. So the word barrier, this is where it becomes very clear to me. On your website, halifax.ca, you created a department 2 years ago. Not quote me on 2 years, but not long ago you created a department. You called it Diversity and Inclusion. That is designed to remove all those barriers and create opportunities for the full participation of Halifax residents and municipal employees. Please remove the barrier that we're up against as women in business in a male-dominated industry. Let's level it out somewhat. Please implement that. Those are your words. You wrote that. And I would like you to read it again if you want to turn to page 6 in the back. That's from your website. It's very important. Remove the barriers that we're up against. There are 3 categories in the Halifax Taxi Commission: taxi, limousine, and accessible vans. The public wanted accessible vans, so guess what? The city or the province created that new category. Those taxi drivers didn't have to go on that list of 850 names. No, they jumped the queue. They went around it. And I'm not sure how many are out there. But those are not capped. I don't want that accessible van owner's permit. My ladies, when they call, or my men when they call, they're not asking for an accessible van. I'm not going to take that van from somebody else who needs it. I'll go into other reasons why if you want to ask me later why I don't want the accessible vans. I'll go into detail later. So let's create a new category for the public, giving them a choice. Lady driver car service, or female car service, female taxi, whatever you want to call that category. There's 12 of us licensed right now that are in my team. We support the airport. I can't come into the city and do that. There's no place for us to sit in the city. I'm a limousine licensed at the airport. I don't have a meter in my car to charge people to go 2 or 3 blocks. And there's no stand for us in the city. Where are we going to sit? But I do have safety issues. I worry about the safety of the female drivers, just like I worry about the safety of the female passengers in a male taxi. You know what? Women in any place of business have to be aware of their surroundings. We have to use common sense. You know, there's sexual assaults and there's physical, there's mental abuse out there in our workplace. We're faced with that daily. Look at the military. Look at the police department, the fire department. Look at the teachers and the nurses and the people that work in the nursing homes. We can't not work because we're afraid of that. We have to work. It's the way of the world. Women have to get into a male-dominated industry, and that's a barrier that we have to overcome. We have to be loud. We have to be heard. This question is directed to Sally Christie, the Taxi Commission. Sally, is it true that since October last year until now, you have released 57 owner's permits? Keeping in mind you're not going over the 1,000, but you released 57 from last fall till now. Is that not true? And is it true that you are going to release 40 more before the summer is out? And on that list of 850 people waiting to get an owner's permit, how many of them are women? I tried to ask the commission that question, but it's, you know, it's Freedom of Information Act that I have to fill out, and I don't have the right document to get that answer. Are you able to provide us with that? And this is to the counselors. If it is true that they're going to release those 40 permits, put them on hold until the bylaw is changed to create this new category that I'm asking for. Just like the accessible vans were created, how did you do that? Figure out a way to do that for us. Or for the public, not for me. I don't want that. I don't want those permits for myself. I want for the women in business to own their own. I want them to operate their own business. I don't want them to rent and lease a roof light from another taxi driver for $6,600 a year. If they got that permit from you, it would be $115 a year. That's another issue I don't want to go into. I don't have time. You don't want Uber here, but they're smart. They're getting on the bandwagon. You know what? They have an option now. If a client wants a female driver, they can press a different button. They're getting on the bandwagon because that's the way the world is going. Get on it. Let's be the first one to implement a legal lady driver car service in the city. The Taxi Commission as a whole has created this study. It's in a draft form now. I tried to get on it and I couldn't. They wouldn't hear me. I tried to email them and they wouldn't hear me. Dan Hara, H-A-R-A. He called me 2 days ago. He's in charge of that. He told me that draft is already done up, Chrissy. You're not going to be considered. I told him everything I'm telling you here today, and he said, Chrissy, I have empathy for you. You have a good case here. I wish I would have been able to talk to you. I said, Dan, I don't want to wait for your study to come out. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. He said, Chrissy, don't wait for the study. I want you to make up that decision before that study. I want you to put us in there before you hear that study. So that at least we're in there. They can juggle us around once we're in there. Release owner's permits for females. Please, I ask you. I'm here for change. Are you? Thank you.